Welcome to Pure Hustle Podcast. I'm Mike.
And this is Orlando, and we're on an episode that is higher than 400. And I'm going to find out right now.
469. 469.
Is it 469? Okay.
Right. We made it 469 episodes in, and this is one of our update episodes. So the way we do Pure Hustle Podcast is every other week we have a different type of episode. One week we do a themed episode where we talk about a very specific aspect of reselling, maybe shipping, maybe fees, maybe sourcing, various things. And on our update episodes, we talk about what's going on in our life reselling wise. What are we scoring? Maybe some random stories we've encountered while we're outsourcing, all the way to what's going on in the reselling world in general. We have our reselling news section, and then we also have our spicy bolos, the things you should be on the lookout for when you're at garage. That's right. When you're at garage sales, thrift stores, all the places you're sourcing, Facebook Marketplace. So you definitely don't want to miss it. Make sure to tune in to the entire episode. Orlando, how are things going, my friend?
Oh, you know, I will tell you, I was really scared because remember where we last left things was I going to lose my top rated seller status? Right. Mm-hmm. So I did reach out to eBay, and it was interesting because when I talked to them on the phone, the guy was like, hey, yeah, I'll try to remove some of these because they're not like correct. So I had some items that I did ship out on time, but the tracking didn't show, and it arrived on time, but for a reason, like the info was off. But he's like, I don't really know if I could do much for you. And I was like, oh man. And then I started thinking about everything, right? I've mentioned this in 2 updates ago. Like if you lose top rated seller status, we had a whole episode on this, right? You end up losing the ability to get 50% back on a return. You end up getting lower in the search. You end up losing certain fees. You can't get top rated plus on your items. You know, it's just all these things that are not good, right? So I always encourage everyone, do what you can to get yourself to top rated, because I will tell you the perks are worth it, and then stay there. Don't be in Orlando where you think you can handle shipping every day and you end up shipping stuff late, and for a stupid reason, you lose it. Now, I got this message from eBay, and I was like, what? Like, I don't even think I asked for this. So let me read it to you. It says, hi, Orlando. We see you have a great track record as a top-rated seller. By the way, experience I do think does help. We also know you have this incredible podcast called Pure Hustle Podcast. I kid. They didn't write that at all. But recently, you didn't meet more of the sales, volume, or tracking upload goals set for the top-rated seller in the U.S. region. We know that sometimes things come up. That's why we're giving you some extra time until November 19 to meet those goals again. During this grace period, we'll continue to evaluate your seller performance on the 20th of every month to see whether you're eligible to be a top-rated seller again. Just make sure you upload tracking on 90% of all your U.S. transactions and continue to meet all other top-rated seller requirements. Visit our seller standards, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow. Like, they didn't have to do that. They really didn't have to. Like, I am grateful. Like, I know people talk about eBay and how eBay is rigid and eBay is mean, but I've always been a believer. And Mike, I think both of us have said this since the very first episode, probably, where eBay wants to keep people that are invested in selling on eBay, right? So as long as you're doing everything you can, right? We've talked about, like, for example, on returns, we talked for example, with INADs, like item not as described, that do everything you can to do things right the first time. So if there's ever a question as to, you know, were you misleading in your listing? Were you misleading in your pictures? Like, don't be misleading. Like, be fully honest about it. You know, you don't have to give out all the info. You could put stuff like, you know, has cosmetic wear throughout, see pictures, but always make sure that you develop good business. You have great messaging, great customer service. You ship on time. You do everything. You keep your feedback as high as you can. You keep your top rated sellers as high as you can. And eventually I do think eBay does recognize that. Like, every time I call, I always get like, thank you for being with eBay for 13 years. And it does create like this clout, right? This is important. So I encourage people always to do that, because I do think that helped. Like, they didn't have to, right? They could have just knocked me down and kept me at above standard, but I'm happy.
I do feel like I mentioned on the last podcast that we did where we talked about this, that when I was going through a similar issue, I had the same thing. So I think that's just part of their policy. I mean, I'm glad that it is. They offer that probationary period.
You mean I'm not special?
Yeah, Orlando. I'm glad that you're taking it as like, man, eBay has just done me a solid. But I
that's
think
how I feel.
But I think the reasons that the reasons that you said why they do it, I think is accurate, right? Like they want to keep invested resellers, and they realize people go through issues, right? Like people go through periods of time when, hey, it was busy, or I had too many sales and I couldn't keep up with, or I just had like a bad month and it kind of just messed me up. And so they want to give people the opportunity to keep going and not be like, well, at this point, it took me a year to get top rated seller in the first place. I lost it. And people can give up, right? So they want to keep you invested. Plus, it's like, it's going to push you, right? Like this next month, you're going solid, right? Like all the way up until that November, you're not going to be missing anything that you.
Oh no, not. And here's the other thing that's odd about it all is that like I've been able to like keep up on sales, but I don't know, maybe eBay's throwing more sales my way, but I feel like my sales have been at an uptick ever since that notice. And so I don't know, maybe eBay pressed like the algorithm button, right, to help me with top rated seller and to keep me moving. I'm not really sure, but in the end, it's been really helpful and it's been good. And it's been nice to get more sales. I kind of, it's one of those things like okay. So the other day I took a day off of work and I kind of did like the eBay thing. Well, I had to do my taxes, but okay. So I did the eBay thing where like, I just took care of some things and I just sat on the couch. I put on a movie. I did some listings, I did some taxes, and I'm like, kind of miss this a little bit. Not in a way that like I'm ever going to go back to it, but I got to tell you, full-time reselling, like if I did it over again, I would make sure that there are times where I take a break from reselling for like a few days, because I think what got me in the grind was like every day it was the same thing. Every single day I'm listing, every single day I'm shipping. And now that I'm not doing that, and now I have an opportunity to do that, it's been a lot easier for me to take care of things. So I don't know. I kind of was like, wow, I do miss the entrepreneur life. I do miss like getting to watch movies and listing things. And I love what I do right now as a school administrator, but I don't know. I kind of miss that. But you got to be disciplined. I got to tell you, full-time reselling. I ran into Brandon, who's another head of school over in the South at a conference. And man, that guy's killing it, but that guy's still listing like 5 things every day, right? So even if you list 5 things every day, like you can have consistent sales. So I encourage people to keep doing that. But, again, that's a top rated seller thing. Like I do think your reputation matters. I do think 100% feedback. I do think being on the platform for a while. Yes. Am I not special? Very possible, but I like to think I'm special.
Orlando, you're special. You're a special guy.
Thank you. I can now live the rest of my day in happiness. So I appreciate that, Mike. All right. What's going on with you?
Man. So I think it was the last update episode. I kind of talked about why I've been doing more local instead of the eBay thing quite as hard as I had originally wanted to this year, and kind of figuring out like it has partly to do with me not wanting to put extra on my wife. And I do think that's true since she helps a lot with the shipping. And we both were kind of talking about it, and our goal really is to try and sell our house as quickly as possible. We took it off the market because it just wasn't the right market for selling a house. We weren't getting any offers in our area, and I think it was kind of nationwide, at least for the last several months. There was just way more supply than there was demand, and so people just had to keep dropping their prices. Anyways, with interest rates coming down, I think we might be able to have better chance of moving the house this time around. So we were kind of thinking through that. Okay, what do we need to do? Well, 1, it's always good to have extra money. 2, it's good to have more equity in the house. So everything we're making off of eBay, we're just pouring into the house. But the other aspect is every time we've moved, and we've had to move several times, and we've had to move our inventory even more, because remember our first studio, that was where my inventory was stored. We ended up losing that space. The office we were renting, they ended up losing the sublease on that. So we didn't have the opportunity to use that space. So then we had to move all of our stuff to a shed, somewhere else first, a storage unit. And then we built a shed, and then we put the stuff in a shed, and then we had to move it to another house. And then we moved it to Texas. And every time I moved my inventory, and you just recently went through this, it's a brutal experience, right? Like you don't want to move the inventory anymore. And so one of the things my wife and I were talking about is what can we do to make this move better besides just getting extra money by selling stuff? And a big part of it is looking into this room right now where I'm recording. I've got tons of eBay stuff. I got eBay stuff out in the shed. I don't want to move this stuff again. Now, of course, I don't want to lose all my inventory, but at the same time, for me, we've kind of discussed, like, I think we need to move this inventory quicker. And what that's probably going to look like for us is we're going on a trip here coming up here pretty soon. So we're not going to start for a few days, but when we get back from the trip, I got a little bit of time off of work. I am going to really try and focus on one, getting everything that's not listed. I don't want to move a death pile again, right? I've already moved death piles. Like, that's the worst. Yeah. So I want everything listed, because that just triggers algorithm and gets things moving. But the other thing is, I think we're going to start running some auctions with buy it now at a low enough price that's what I would accept as like a good buy it now offer anyways, right? Because my thought on that is, if I'm running auctions, I can kind of specify the day that I'm probably going to have to do the shipping. So I'm not putting extra burden on my wife. It's like, hey, I'm going to be home this day. Maybe it's like auctions in Friday night or something. And so Saturday we can get stuff shipped out that sells. But if people do buy in the meantime, it's not, it'll be a little bit extra, but by lowering the price to say, like, let's just say it's an item that I have currently listed for 100, I'd be okay taking 60. I'm going to throw it up for maybe even $40 on auction with a $60 buy it now. Right. Because then if somebody's like, hey, I don't want to wait till Friday, this is a good deal on this, and they just buy it, sweet, I just sold it, I would have accepted a $60 offer on that item anyways. Right. And if it ends up going for 40, well, I probably bought it for 20 or 15 or 10 or less. So I'm still going to be making my money back, and I don't have to move it again. Right. So over the next couple of months, my goal is really going to be, instead of sourcing so much, because every time I source, it's a good feeling when you're like bringing a shopping cart full of stuff and you're just counting all the dollars that you're going to make off of it. But then when I have to just add that to my load, when I in my inventory and my storage, when I'm thinking, hey, I'm hoping to be moving in a few months, it's kind of like almost like a gut punch. And so remember when we were talking about COVID happening and wanting to be cash heavy and inventory light, right? Like, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah. Like, I'm at a place where, even if, like, worst case scenario, if somebody offered me, I'll give you $1.10 for every dollar you spend on items, right? Like, so make your money back plus even a little bit, but I'll buy it all out today. That'd be worth it to me, because one, I don't have any of that inventory that I have to move. And two, maybe not for some of like my like really good, because I got stuff that I'm going to make good money on, right? But like, I would say for like 75-80% of my inventory, that would be the case, that I'd be okay with basically getting my money back plus a little, because I know once I'm established somewhere else, I have way more knowledge than I had when I first started picking up a lot of this stuff. Markets have changed some, and I'm going to be much more effective at sourcing. So even if I'm starting from basically the ground up again, building up my inventory, I'm going to be in a much better place. So I'm at a place now where I think I'm just going to start running auctions, maybe like 10 to 20% of my store on auction, a pretty good auction every week. And then just trying to move as much inventory as possible. Money is worth more today than it is tomorrow. And so if stuff is just sitting on shelves and it's moving across the country and it's moving across town, I'm wasting time, I'm wasting energy, I'm wasting gas, all of those things. So I think it's going to be a busy few weeks if this goes well. Now, it is very possible too that I throw all these items on auction for super cheap with a low buy it now, and it still doesn't move. And if that's the case, then I'd probably just have really bad inventory. And if those go a couple of auction cycles like that and they're not moving, it's probably time to just donate it or find another, maybe package it up in like a bulk package or something and liquidate it in another way. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. So we'll see how it goes.
No, I get it. And the interesting thing is, I should have done what you're doing way back, because when I moved, I gave away thousands of dollars of stuff. I'm not talking about hundreds, I'm talking about thousands, right? And there was no turning back. Like, I remember being in my garage and seeing all these shelves, and I was like, okay, I can maybe pack all this, but I've already sent, like, I had, if you guys remember, I had a pod, right? So I filled up a whole pod. And then on top of that, I filled up a whole 27-foot trailer with stuff from my house, and still was not enough. And I filled out a 40-foot long dumpster that was 10 feet high, and still I had stuff. Like, it is crazy, right? And I gave away so much, and what I would have given just to get my money back on stuff, and just a little bit more. Like, so I think you're making the wise call. This is why I remember my good friend Fernando, who was neighbors with me over in Alpine. I remember when he moved, he sold me, like, I think there's a whole YouTube video maybe where he sold me all his inventory for like $1,000, and I made a killing. I probably made like 5,000 to 8,000 on everything I bought. And people were like, man, I can't believe you sold it for that cheap, but I get it now. Like he couldn't take it all with him. Right. So for me to pay him 1,000 was better than not getting anything. Right. And it was like you said, money today is worth more than in the future. So I totally get what you're saying. It's just, and I think about the totes right now that I have so much, like, I have so much stuff. Like, so if I decided, here's the thing, if for every reason I decided to go full time right now, I could probably go full time for like 30 days without having a source. Like, that's how much inventory I think I have right now. And that's saying like I listed, let's say 50 items a day. I mean, that's a lot. That's like 1,500 items, right? Maybe not 1,500, but I have a lot that are not listed. So I appreciate you sharing with that. So that's where hey, before we move forward though, we are going to talk about some random stories. I do want to talk about my reseller genie. So I'm here working on my taxes because they are due soon. And one of the reasons I'm not stressing is because we have my reseller genie. My reseller genie is software for resellers by resellers that is bookkeeping software. So if you need a Schedule C, you need to figure out all your shipping expenses, your eBay fees, you need to prepare a document to give to your tax person, my reseller genie will help you do that. So to get my reseller genie for 15% off the first month, go to my reseller genie in the link below and use our code Pure Hustle. Again, use our code Pure Hustle and you'll get 15% off the first month on my reseller genie. All right, Mike, I know you just hit me a random story, but I'll share a random story real quick. Just because I think eBay AI is getting smarter. We're going to talk about AI in a little bit. So I just had a pair of like Chargers pants. It's funny. These pants excuse me, I bought at a garage sale, I don't know, like 2-3 years ago. Paid like $100. And they were clothing that was worn by former Chargers. Like they wore these pants and this jackets and all at the game, but I guess they only wear it once or a few times. I don't know what it was, but somebody had worked for the Chargers and they were trying to offload it. And I paid $100 for everything. Now I already made a killing. I sold the jackets that I got for like $150 a piece. Sold like 2 or 3 of them. Sold some of the jackets, some of the pants. Well, this was someone that needed it overnight, right? And I don't know, with eBay, it's interesting because back in the day, it used to be, and I hope we're not doing this anymore, but back in the day, it used to be, if somebody wanted something overnight, you would tell them, hey, by the way, send me the money via PayPal, send me via Venmo. And then, so they would buy the item. And then after the fact, they would send you the money. And then you would use that money to send it overnight. That is not the best way to do things. I will tell you the best way to do things is already have like overnight listings ready to go. Right? Whether one for FedEx, one for UPS, one for the post office. And then what you do is when somebody asks for something that quick, which I think it gives you options, but for my listings, it doesn't. What I do is when they ask me, I just revise it and I use that, whatever overnight I think is best. And it's already set up. So it's already there. So it'll just charge them and they'll pay for it in the listing when they buy the item. Now, this time I got lazy and I'm like, oh, just, PayPal me or what is it? No, I said Venmo me the $30 and I could send it to you overnight. And as soon as I did that, like eBay started like blocking my messages. Like it wouldn't get delivered. It was like, it would remove it. It wouldn't remove it, but it would do like when like things are vibrant blue, but then it would turn gray. Like the person never got it, never. And so I kept doing that over and over again. I'm like, oh man, like is eBay going to ban me? And so I had to like change my language. I'm like, you'll need to send this. And then what it would do to block it. So then I would say, you need to do the purchase and then contact me or whatever. And then I got the warning like 2 or 3 times, like, hey, any transactions off of eBay will lead to a suspension. And I'm like, oh man, this is AI software that was doing this, right? It was very obvious. But always be careful. Don't do any transactions off of eBay if the messages are about an item. And at the same time, don't even insinuate, because I've had people comment, leave us with DMs, and I've seen other people on social media talk about how eBay suspended them. And it wasn't like anything serious. They weren't trying to do that, but just some of the language looked like it was suspicious and they got banned right away. And then they had to deal with the phone calls and keep people getting back to them. So they started losing days of money. Like you don't want to put yourself in that place. So ended up selling these pants. I did get them to, pay overnight. And they paid, I think it was like an extra $20 because it was only going from San Francisco down to Southern California. So it wasn't super far. But in the end, it was worth it. So be aware that I think my thoughts are this. I think as AI improves, eBay is going to use AI. There's already discussion at eBay Open that they're thinking about putting stuff on there like when's the last time this person responded or how quick this person ships, whatever. And I think they're going to start using AI with it. So get yourself in the mindset of customer service, like doing the best you can, but also that eBay is always watching. So be aware of that. So that is my random story, Mike.
Nice. I like it. I mean, I don't have anything great other than as we were cleaning out some stuff and kind of organizing our eBay inventory, getting ready for this big auction push. We had some purses that we were going to list that were my wife's. And it's funny because these were like good purses that she has had for a long time. Like one of them she got in high school was like a Dooney and Burke, like one of the first ones that like the purse that like made them kind of famous. Like their famous design, at least that's what she tells me. So we're like looking up all these purses.
I say, like I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't have any idea what I'm just talking about either. And one of them was like a Coach purse. So I'm like, man, these have got to be like, we should be able to sell these for a lot. And they just weren't. Like even the Coach purse, like it was one we picked up from, where we used to live out in San Diego. There was like an outlet mall and there was a Coach outlet there. Yeah. So it was a Coach purse she got there, which probably at the time we probably still spent like a couple $100s for it. And it's just, there just wasn't money there. It wasn't even worth listing. So it's like, it almost saddens me to say, but like we tossed like a Coach purse and like two Dooney and Burke purses, which in my mind, like, and we've traveled with these and we kept thinking like, should we list these? I don't know. Like my wife's not sentimental, so she doesn't hold on to lots of stuff like that. Part of me is like, you've got all these nice purses. Why do we have to buy any more? But you know how it goes. But yeah, so it's just kind of funny how like certain things go up and down in value. And one of the things that I'm going to talk about on my Bolo is kind of almost the opposite of that. Something that used to be really cheap that my wife like buys, like a brand she likes, have skyrocketed. And even the older ones, right? And so you just never know. It's like, hey, a Dooney and Burke purse, which again, I don't know anything about purses, so it might not be as high of a big of a brand as I think it is in my head. But again, it's an old purse, so it's like over 20 years old. It was one that was super popular when it first came out. It was when Dooney and Burke purses were kind of just getting popular, all that. I don't know. And it's just not worth money. So it's just crazy how some things become more popular, more expensive, while other things become less. So that's just kind of my random story. You just got to pay attention. I guess the takeaway from this is even the inventory, like you might have bought something at a garage sale because you saw at the time, maybe years ago, comps going for $100, $200. And you might look now and they don't sell like that anymore. So you just got to pay attention to your inventory and what you have.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we should do an episode of like things that were worth money when we started the podcast and things that are worth nothing now. Mm-hmm. Because you just got to be careful. I mean, I think like Allbirds, right? Allbirds shoes. Like there was a time when like people wanted them, and now you can't sell them. Like I don't pick them up, or but like I remember the joke was Tommy Bahama, but people buy Tommy Bahama still, right? Now it takes forever, but it's certain Tommy Bahamas you can sell. So it's kind of where you're at. So yeah, well, yeah. I remember the outlet, like I think it has dropped like $300 or $400. I don't think it was taking $100, but they were money. So all right, hey, it is time for us to talk about our reselling topics.
Yeah, and it's funny that we still call them reselling topics because it's the news. eBay keeps finding things. eBay rolls out parts not working, and all of this and more on Reseller News. Orlando, take it away.
We lost you for like 3 seconds, but you came back. So that's good.
I'm recording my audio separately on here, so it should be fine.
Okay. All right. So hey, I gotta tell you, I am forever eBay stan because I do believe eBay is doing things right on many things. Yeah, there's the things like, hey, when are you going to allow us to do live shopping? When are you going to do this? I'll do this, but I do like what eBay is doing with AI. I will tell you, it's been really helpful, especially lately with like messages on the messaging, or the fact that now I can send an offer within the messages instead of like, hey, by the way, I'm going to go over to my listing and get out of the messages and I'm going to send you an offer like that. I just don't like that. Right. And eBay recognizes that they need to streamline things. So this is actually from the Wall Street Journal. The title says Inside eBay's Quest to Become an AI Leader. And, it's very flattering to eBay, but I do think that eBay is figuring this out better than Poshmark, better than Depop, better than any platform. I would say the only platform that can compete with it is maybe Amazon or Walmart, but they're not the same, right? They're different worlds, right? So eBay is recognizing, and it's interesting because Jamie Ione, like he's been on top of that. So let me read some parts of the article here. It says, looking to boost its business and shed its reputation as an online auction house, the company is making use of AI agents, encouraging engineers to use AI to write code and launching AI features that personalize shipping. Chief Executive Jamie Ione says, AI sees AI as an opportunity to really be on the leading edge, both with customer service, but also with how we innovate. Right. So something that I thought was interesting here is that, yeah, they do use the cloud servers, they use Microsoft, they use NVIDIA and so on. But it says the company last year announced that it had built a supercomputer using its own hardware that enabled eBay to build and run models about 100 times as large as the year before, according to the company. eBay's other advantage, as executives argue, is its 3 decades of data from buyers and sellers who collectively made billions of transactions. That data, rich in consumer insights, is easily tapped by large language models, said one of their techs there. In the past several years, eBay has zeroed in on selling what it calls focus categories, which include trading cards, luxury goods, refurbished items, parts, and accessories that have helped the platform recapture growth. And I'm looking at that, and I'm like, okay, like eBay is obviously trying to stay ahead of the curve. eBay is obviously trying to keep themselves in business. And again, I always tell people, like, I would not sell on Poshmark. I will not sell on Depop because I don't even think they have the infrastructure to do this kind of stuff, but they just have not had a good track record of innovation. And yes, we talk about eBay and they still have their websites that are like in the 90s and all this stuff. But I got to tell you, overall, like, pretty happy about this. What are your thoughts about that, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, especially when we're talking about AI, gosh, I feel like we're just scratching the surface of what's going to happen. So, man, I don't know, man. It's going to be crazy. Those are my only thoughts.
I mean, I look at it this way. Like, I spend hours with AI every day. I know it sounds weird, but I do. Whether it's work stuff, whether it's gym stuff, whether it's just running different scenarios. Like, I mean, how do I cook my steak in an air fryer? Like, whatever it is, which I know that sounds very terrible to do, but it actually wasn't bad, right? And so I can only imagine, like, eBay is just going to make it better. And again, I don't want people to worry. I do think reselling is still going to be fine. You just have to adapt. And the people that aren't adapting are going to end up in the basement of e-commerce bites comments complaining about how AI has destroyed eBay. And I'm telling you, it's about, just adapting, trying to figure out. Like, I truly believe in, this is not a whole AI podcast, but I do think the people that are not implementing AI are going to be left behind in this life. Like, I with AI, I'm able to be so much more efficient as a school administrator, as a person, as an eBay seller. Like, it's part of my everyday life.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that, like, things are changing so fast and it's already having such a profound impact that I don't think people can get away from it. It's one of those things, like, it would be like telling somebody years ago, like when the internet first came out, like, yeah, if people who don't, start utilizing the internet are going to be left behind. It's like, well, there isn't a single company in the world now that isn't utilizing the internet, right? There isn't, probably most people, especially in America or most, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably live in a country that's got easy access to the internet, right? Like, we use the internet daily, all the time. I think it's the same thing with AI. Like, right now, it kind of seems like parlor tricks to some people. It's like, oh, you can make some songs, or you can do like a weird search on something, or you can do, but it's already being integrated into so many websites that people are using AI even if they don't realize they're using it. And it's escalating at such a speed that within a few years, it's going to be, I mean, I don't know, like, there's going to be a cap point. Like, I'm sure it can't just keep improving at exponentially the way it is, but it is going to exponentially improve over time. And yeah, so it's like, what is that going to look like? Well, I don't think anybody's going to escape it. Now, I think you're right in saying the people who are early adapters, who are using it to their advantage now, might be able to get a little bit ahead for a short period of time, but give it another couple of years. It's like, I think back to when I was using like a third-party program to remove background images, right? And it was like, I was being innovative and it was putting me in the lead. Now it's like everybody can do that easily. And I think AI is going to be the same way. The people who are using AI well now on their own, maybe outside of eBay, they're just using AI for their reselling business. They're going to get benefits, but yeah, give it a few more years. And probably half of the way that we list things and that we're doing things is going to be done through AI. And it's not going to be the kind of cheesy way that it is now, right? Because already there's been so many improvements. Even customer service. Like, I mean, you probably will be able to set up, because a lot of times when you're chatting with somebody, I mean, they've had chat bots forever. Basically, that's all AI is for the most part, is just an algorithm that's running through like, if this, then answer this. It's just had a huge database of it that seems so much more aware or able to maneuver and manipulate things. So where you used to talk to like a chat bot, 5-10 years ago, when you go onto a website and you were trying to talk to customer service, it was like they had 10 built in, like they can give you like these answers. And then is your problem one of these? And then if you gave something different, it didn't know what to do, or it just gave you like a rote answer. Now it can actually seemingly think. Something like that's probably going to happen with us when it comes to like, hey, I've got customers who are reaching out and they're asking for deals on items, or they're asking, you could probably program an AI to answer customer questions, order to accept offers, in order to manually adjust the prices in your store to like keep up. Like it's going to massively impact. What it's going to do exactly, I'm not sure, but I remember years ago thinking, when I was like trying to make music, I was never good at it. But I kind of understood how to like use a MIDI keyboard and how to like move things around and make some cool little tracks that were just fun for me, but nothing professional. And as AI was coming, I was like, man, I wish I could just like make a sound effect and just tell it like, hey, I want this kind of sound in this key. And now you can literally just tell the exact genre you want and what gender of a singer and in what tone, and you've got AI making songs that still sound AI, but today they sound way better than they did a year ago.
Oh.
So yeah, it's crazy how things are changing.
That's crazy. Have you heard about that new app? It's the Sora app that is supposed to be like social media, but it's completely AI stuff.
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
Well, did you see that AI, the AI actress that somebody in Australia is coming out with?
Oh my goodness, this is crazy.
And there's the
what if this is an AI podcast?
Yeah,
what if this isn't even us? Yeah, that's
the other thing too. Like, who knows? Like content. I mean, it's funny. I watch my father-in-law. They live with us, and he's always on social media, and he's watching these videos, and I listen to the videos he's watching on. I'm assuming Facebook is where he's getting these like reels or whatever. Yeah. And everything that he's watching is like, sometimes they're like 10-15 minute videos about like, and then this happened in this place, and then they discovered this unbelievable thing happened under the sea when scientists found, and it's all like an AI voiceover with like AI images, but like in his mind, this is like some content creators created the most impressive thing in the world. And I'm like, somebody's pounding these out in like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, and they're just creating all this content. And so, and again, how can you use that to your advantage, right? Like, I love our podcast. I hope people are watching and listening, but like, it won't be long before you could just say like, here's what I want to learn about reselling. And I want to learn it from a 38-year-old Australian with, red hair, and boom. It's like, they're giving you everything, right? Like it's going to be bonkers for sure.
We'll still be here though, by the way, just so you guys know.
Yeah. For all of you who want the human,
real people,
the human touch, we're here.
Yeah, we're still here. All right. Hey, this next one. So I'm just gonna keep like praising eBay here. So I like they came out with these new commercials that they're launching, and it's called basically finding items. So it's all like one of the stories is a guy who he's at a baseball game, he catches the foul ball. Oh no, the home run. It's like a championship home run ball, but he decides to give it to the kid. But he's like, man, I really wish I had a ball. And then he goes on eBay and he finds the ball and he pays for it. Why did he do that? Don't know. But I think eBay is really doing a good job of pushing like, hey, we are the source if you want to find things you can't find anywhere else. And I think that really helps our audience, like, because we're all resellers that we find those items that people can't find somewhere else, right? That's where the value comes in, right? And I'm like, okay, this is really good. Like eBay is kind of understanding where they're, and we've talked about this, how the previous CEO, Devin, I forget his last name, but he was trying to make us more like Amazon. Remember, we were going to have like managed delivery. We were going to have air warehouses like Amazon. We were going to do like repeat buying. Like, you know, if you bought like some soap and you wanted the same soap, you could just go to the same, like order it. You order some more. Like he had all these things in mind. I don't think they were bad, but I think eBay is positioned itself in a better position. Because right now, I think eBay, if they try to go the Amazon route, they would end up becoming just background noise, because you have Walmart that's like the biggest competitor to Amazon. There's no way that eBay can jump on that. Instead of eBay is like, hey, we are secondary goods. We are the ones that have these collectibles, these items that you want. And we're not ashamed about it. Like we've always been like that from the very first, you know, founder of eBay that was trying to find a laser pen to now, you know, everybody going on eBay saying, I want that vintage shirt. I want that vintage toy. You know, I want that item that I can't find because it's sold out, but it ended up on eBay. Did you see that? Sora codes? Like everybody wants to get on the Sora app. And so you can sell the codes on eBay. Now, remember, when you sell codes on eBay, you have to sell a paper clip and the code comes with it. So don't go trying to sell codes. I know there's way. Didn't one of our good friends?
Yeah,
like sell their Clash of Clans.
Yep, a Post-it note with Clash of Clans account on it.
People still play Clash? I think they do.
I don't know.
So I don't know. It's been a while. But I thought it was good. I thought they were good ads, right? Did they appeal to Gen Z? The question's still out there. But did they appeal to the older generations? I think it did. All right. Hey, our last reseller topic here. So 4 parts not working. Have you ever had somebody return stuff and you put 4 parts not working and you're like, why? Like you knew it wasn't working. Have you had that happen to you?
Oh yeah. And
it's super frustrating because it's like, okay, you knew it wasn't working, especially when they message you like, hey, this didn't work. Like what? You know that. That's why it's 4 parts. So this comes from Value Added Resource. Great resource, by the way. I don't know where these people came from. So their article is called eBay Rolls Out 4 Parts Not Working. Changes, Will Sellers Be Protected? So eBay, and we talked about this because they announced it at eBay Open, but they said that in October, this is the beginning. So at eBay Open, their senior director of trust, David Newman, said, first off, we hear the concern sellers have around final sale, and the next step on our journey toward a true final sale experience is in the area of the listings you have that are 4 parts not working, where you've marked them as no returns accepted. So in October, there's going to be a clear, prominent messaging at every stage of the buyer journey on these listings. So buyers will see from the item page through checkout all the way through post-purchase, buyers are going to see clearly that your listing is 4 parts and not working and no returns accepted.
I like it.
So
it just seems to make sense.
Yeah. I mean, I've had so many items for parts or not working that got returned. I'm like, wait a second. You not like what? I don't even know why this is allowed, but I allowed it. But this is going to be great. So I don't know. I feel like we just like loved on eBay the entire time. So eBay, if you're listening,
what it is they extended your top rated seller, and so you're on like
that's what it is. Kick. Yeah, there you go. Now my eBay tattoo. I'm not going to show it, but now my eBay tattoo that's on me. So there we go. So yeah, that's pretty much all we got for reseller topics. I mean, things are going good with eBay. I'm sure there's other items we could cover. If you ever have a news story you'd like us to cover, let us know. Oh, a reseller topic. Sorry, a reseller topic you let us like us to cover. Please let us know. Hey, before we move on though, I do want to talk where you can find us on social media. We are Pure Soul Podcast on all platforms. Except we are Pure Soul Cast on X. You can always give us an email to let us know how any questions you have, your hustle of the week, a bolo. Go to puresoulpodcast@gmail.com. That's puresoulpodcast@gmail.com. And as always, grateful for all of you that listen to the podcast. But even if you have not come over and subscribe to our YouTube, please do so. It definitely helps us. I'd love to be at 10,000 by the end of the year. I feel like we were just dragging our feet on that one. But hey, you know what? We have our awesome listeners that always support us. But if you'd like to, it would be greatly appreciated if you come on over, hit that subscribe, smash that bell notification. Also grateful for all the people here that have left us iTunes reviews. They always help. I want to share the last one here. This comes from Sheena K. And she said, upbeat and straightforward. Thanks for keeping it straightforward and upbeat despite the ups and downs of reselling. Appreciate the info you share and that you keep. Oh, no, we already shared that one. They keep it clean. Okay, we need more reviews. Leave us more reviews. Let people know. Like, that's one thing I would say Mike and I are proud of is that part of the reason we're Pure as a podcast is we keep our language G-rated. Sometimes we go a little PG here and there, but we try to keep it pure because we love it when families are in the car and they're listening and they don't have to explain to kids like what a certain word meant or have to turn down the volume. We like that. We keep that mentality. All right. And then last of all, if you have not had a chance to support us, this is the reason we have 469 free episodes and other YouTubes is because we have amazing listeners that support us on Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com/PureAsAPodcast or go to the link below for $5.55 a month, you can support our podcast. And that $5.55 a month allows you to enter our Discord, the Pure Hustle community. And we have all kinds of resellers, all kinds of info, all kinds of bolos, hustle of the week, you name it. It's there. So make sure to sign up for less than a price of premium coffee in San Francisco, whether that means Phil's, whether that means Pete's, not Starbucks, by the way, but even cheaper than Starbucks, you can come over and join us on the Discord. So check us out on Patreon. Yeah. All right. Are we ready to talk about some bolos?
Yeah, we got our other favorite section. Hustles of the week, I think, is one of our top favorite, but Bolos is pretty sweet too.
Bolo. What's your Bolo? Mike,
running that through a second time. Okay, so my Bolo, and this goes back to what I was talking about with those purses. So my wife just recently had a birthday, and she loves Ray-Ban sunglasses. Like, those are her style. She's been wearing them for a long time. And we have little kids. And so every few years we got to get her a new pair because her glasses end up getting scratched up. She always wears glasses. And so I don't mind, spending some money on glasses. I'm like, I'll spend $12-15 on a pair of glasses. We spend a little more for her glasses. So anyways, I think the last time we bought her Ray-Bans, which was a few years ago, for the style she wanted, I think we paid under $100. It was like $89 maybe on sale. At most that I've ever spent probably was a little over $100 for Ray-Ban glasses. Now they're like well over $200.
Yeah, I believe it.
The exact same glasses. And it's not just those glasses, right? Like, we went to every store you could think of that sells like Sunglass Hut. We went to the Dillards. We went to all of the different places that sell sunglasses. And sunglasses of just like the middle of the road, like what you used to have to pay for like Coach sunglasses or like really high end sunglasses, is what it costs for just the regular sunglasses now. And so that got me thinking, okay, well, let's check eBay. What do they go for used? And sure enough, especially specific models, if they're in good, clean condition, not super scratched up, are selling really high. And so what used to be, hey, this was an $80 pair of sunglasses that high schoolers were buying in the middle of the mall, now have become $200, $250 plus, like high-end glasses. And it's just kind of bonkers to me. And part of that is the inflation. Part of that is, all kinds of other things going on. But that means there's a opportunity for sourcing those things, right? Like, those are the types. Would you have ever just picked up random Ray-Ban sunglasses at a garage sale?
It feels super cheap, but outside of that, no.
Yeah, right. Like, maybe if they're like selling them for $1, but like if they were trying to sell them for like 10 or $20, you would have never picked them up.
Absolutely.
Right now you can look at Ray-Ban sunglasses used, and if they're like a well sought after model that's like discontinued, which again, like that counts for anything, right? This isn't just this brand, but you're looking at several $100s for a used pair. And if it's just like, hey, this is kind of their popular like aviator models, they're still selling for like $70, $80 on eBay. Right. And so it definitely opens up the door of, hey, I might be more willing to be picking up. And Ray-Ban's not the only brand. I'm not super big into different brands, but just consider looking at the brands you might not normally have picked up at garage sales. Now, the thing you do have to be careful for is sunglasses are one of those things that are heavily faked, right? So you got to know what you're doing, but consider looking at stuff that maybe you've passed on in the past, because prices have definitely changed.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. What about you, Orlando?
So we've talked about this so many times, but I just want to talk about it because I consistently have these sales, homeschooling stuff, like homeschooling books, right? And whatever publisher, right? I work at a private school, and there's some publishers that like we have items, and some of the items are discontinued, and my teachers still want them, and so they end up going on eBay and they buy them on eBay. And I myself, like when I was working with the homeschool group back in San Diego, like I remember I ended up like they were like, we need to get rid of this, and I picked up multiple boxes of homeschool materials, and I still sell them. Like, and it's not like crazy money, but it's $30-$40 for a book, sometimes 20, sometimes even more depending on the book, but it is consistent sellers. So don't sleep on like homeschooling stuff. Like you might be like, oh, who wants this, or maybe this looks old, or maybe it's discontinued. Like just look it up, right? Because in the end, like if they go to the publisher, it's going to be a ton of money, right? So you're selling stuff to them maybe for like 75% off, but you're still making a profit depending on your price point. So keep an eye. Homeschool stuff, always good money. I find, and what I find with homeschool stuff, I never have had a return. Like never, because what you're selling is like books and items that are going to be written in, that are going to be used. And so it's always, I think it's a safe bet to go with homeschool material. So that is my BOLO.
Nice. I like it.
All right, Mike. So, hey, I think we're going to have a shorter episode. This is the first time we've done that in a long time. So,
it's fine.
Okay. Tell me what you're looking forward to, Mike.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting away for a little bit. Gonna put eBay on a little bit of an extended handling time, which is fine because my eBay sales have been kind of a bit of a trickle, which is okay. My local deals, I'm probably going to put those kind of on pause too. And then as soon as I get back from this trip, it's going to be fire sales, right? Like I just want to move inventory. I think I want to see empty shelves and a big fat bank account. Because once I'm established somewhere else, it's going to be a little bit easier to build buying things, knowing that I'm not having to move it again. I'm still going to have to source. Like if I'm successful with this and I end up with half empty shelves, then I'm still going to be doing some sourcing. But again, my sourcing has changed quite a bit over the years. So I'm going to be much more effective. I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be busy. I'm not looking forward to all the shipping. I hate shipping. It's one of the reasons my wife does it. She loves it. I don't know if she loves it, but she doesn't mind it. I hate it, but we're gonna be moving items, man. That's the name of the game. What about you?
So I really need to ramp up my sales to maintain my top rated seller. So I have to list. So I'm gonna start going with the 5 to 10 listings a day, and I'm gonna pump up my sales. And that's what I got to do. I got to finalize my taxes. Just because that's something we all have to do, right? Death and taxes. There's no, getting around those. Except I hear that there's people that like don't do their taxes for years and then they decide to do their taxes. Like what? Like I feel like responsible people don't get an advantage. Like we should get some kind of bonus for the government for doing our taxes early. Just saying. Well, you should. I don't do my taxes early.
Yeah, early. You mean doing it?
Yeah, just doing it. So yeah. It's not like I'm looking forward to, but that's what I'm moving to do in the next few weeks. And I do want to do a little bit of sourcing. I kind of miss it. I kind of do miss it. So that's where we're at. But hey, appreciate all you tuning in faithfully after 468 episodes, now episode 469. Hope you're crushing it out there. Keep going. If you're a new seller, realize you can scale and scale and scale, and you can transform your life with reselling. And with that being said, make sure to be real,
be relevant,
and be reselling.
Peace.
From garage sales to thrift store aisles, we hunt for treasure, stacking them in piles. Hustling hard, making deals all day, flipping finds, turning profit our way. You hustle